Hello, and welcome back to Coin Lady channel. I wanted to let you know that a lot of people believe that now is the perfect time for XRP to finally break out and start climbing to the upside. As of this writing, Bitcoin is up to $52,319, and the markets are presently breaking out a little. After earlier today flirting with the $52,000 mark, XRP has now broken above 54 cents, a key resistance level. Now we wait to see what happens from here. What I really want to talk about in this video, though, is something I said I would in my previous video: stories that can straya if you believe them and swallow them whole. Along those lines, one of the most commonplace theories is that the Bitcoin ETFs will be the key that unlocks the kingdom. Also, that may be disastrous for XRP holders. You do realize that, don't you? I'll elucidate the rationale behind its upfront disclosure. After that, we will go into the details. The reason behind this is that narrative, namely Bitcoin ETFs, can lead people to assume that Bitcoin's value will rise much higher than it actually will. It will lead people to believe that XRP's value will skyrocket, even though that may not be the case. This is not to imply that I am incapable of reaching extreme heights, since I am Mr. XRP Bull. I have high hopes. Yes, I do believe XRP will reach new all-time highs and enterprise discovery as long as Bitcoin does. But exercise caution in this area. Reason being, I have some more ideas about this subject and think there are some misunderstandings about what this entails. However, in regards to XRP, yes, I suppose I should reiterate what I've already said. There are a lot of reasons why I've never been more hopeful about XRP's future than I am right now. To be clear, I am not providing financial advice and have no prior experience in the field. Now, let's dive in and break things down. Furthermore, you should under no circumstances use anything I write or say to make a purchase or sale. As a pastime and for fun, I enjoy making films on YouTube regarding crypto-related subjects. I'm just an enthusiast. The proponent of blockchain technology said today, but I'll rephrase so as not to put words in his mouth. Essentially, now is the moment for XRP to go down. He then delves into the technical details of his reasoning for holding these beliefs. Basically, he isn't implying that it will happen today or tomorrow, but historically speaking, this would be a logical time to think that it will go in. If we look at the chart structure, though, it appears like now is the time. If you've been keeping up with him, you know that he's also been warning. When it comes to this, he is also in the minority. It is not, however, evidence that he is incorrect. What I'm trying to say is that he's not alone in this opinion. However, he has previously had minority views that were completely justified, which caused many members of the majority to appear like complete idiots, particularly when they treated him rudely for reasons that didn't make sense. I appreciate all you Bitcoiners, but I have to say, I'm worried about things on a worrying level. This is what he said only a few hours earlier. For example, I was bullish in 2022 and 2023, when everyone else was pessimistic. Not far from the 702 are we. You have my support. You must be aware of your whereabouts, though. In my opinion, that is very reasonable. I am grateful for that. In any case, here's my take. I thrive on hearing contrasting arguments put forth by intelligent, perceptive individuals. In real life, wouldn't that be helpful? For the simple reason that none of us is an expert in every field. Since most of us aren't experts in everything and certainly don't have the time to become so, the best way to arrive at reasonable conclusions on our own is to listen to reliable sources with plenty of experience in the field, gather their perspectives, and then use our best judgment to determine what we think is reasonable. Personally, I'm just going to come clean and say that I have no idea. All I'm trying to say is that it's the correct approach to make decisions in life. And sometimes, you may feel forced to do so. As it is for me right now, these kinds of things do happen from time to time. As for me, I'm not really certain. Hopeful nonetheless, not entirely certain. As much as I enjoy hearing other points of view, I think we should all just wait tight and watch what happens. That is why I make sure to feature a wide range of opposing opinions on my channel. I'm not attempting to steer a storyline. I'm attempting to initiate conversation. That, in my opinion, is the proper way to tackle any issue in life, by discussing it and offering opposing viewpoints. I expect that some of you will feel more strongly that the blockchain advocates are correct, while others will feel more strongly that credible crypto is correct in saying no, and then some. Reasonable people like hearing your truthful viewpoint, thus I replied to the blockchain when I originally stated it. On multiple occasions, you have been right while going against the grain. No one should ever make the mistake of not giving your opinions their full attention. Being said that, I'm crossing my fingers that you're incorrect. However, as you have stated on numerous occasions, you would also love to be incorrect. That would be to his advantage if he's mistaken, so he said that. He is merely expressing his personal belief about what he ought to do. Yes, exactly. This is why I appreciate civil discourse, where individuals can express their genuine opinions without resorting to name-calling. The kind of behavior that turns me off is when people act in an intellectually dishonest manner. My feelings don't align with yours when someone acts rudely. You're in the wrong now, dude, stop being such a brat. To the point where I despise such individuals. It is the worst thing that could ever happen to me. I simply don't think it advances our quest for truth. It annoys me because of it. Alright, let's continue. Take a look at this. There are a variety of expenses. I'm just laying the groundwork for when we get down to brass tacks. Allow me to persuade you. It will be worthwhile, I assure you. The following was released this morning by Bitcoin maximalist Anthony Pompliano. Yesterday, the spot Bitcoin ETFs saw $631 million in net inflows, which is 14 times more demand than the network generated that day. What is happening right now is massive, and I don't think people realize it. Alright, we presented some true facts, but let's be careful with the narratives. You'll see why as we go through the video. But hey, it's still amazing to see, anyhow. Clementi, a chain analyzer, will reveal the following first thing in the morning. Even if exchange-traded funds (ETFs) are receiving $500 million in inflows on that day, almost 70% of Bitcoin supply has remained unchanged for at least a year. Knowing what's going to happen next doesn't necessitate a PhD in economics. And with that, I leave you. The value of the ETFs is skyrocketing. Dumb, you are not. You are aware of the outcome. However, Dewey, I'll go more into setting it up for you, because this story is being driven by a number of individuals. Along with that, I believe it has the ability to fool humans. Because everything is happening and will continue to happen and could never be different, people believe that all of their coins, including Bitcoin XRP, Ethereum, and Picker coin, will go much higher than they would have otherwise. It's not real. Excuse me, a moment. Next, we have Alex Kruger, a highly regarded analyst and self-proclaimed economist with 164,000 followers on Next. You mentioned that Bitcoin ETFs have been a tremendous success, with inflows totaling $4 billion. I think it's fair to say that these Bitcoin ETFs have been very successful thus far. Just so you know, there are some misleading stories circulating about them. I'm done. That concludes my remarks. Investing in Bitcoin ETFs, in my opinion, will have far-reaching consequences in the long run, but this is by no means the be-all and end-all. But sure, it's important. 15 Capital also blogged about this huddle, which is quite awesome. This is quite awesome, I must say. In only 22 days, new spot Bitcoin ETFs bought 228,400 Bitcoin, valued at $11.3 billion. Matt Hewen, Chief Information Officer at Bitwise, noted that this represents more than 1% of all Bitcoin, which is why it is so astounding and shocking. Yes, after around 1 month, the Bitcoin ETFs own 1% of the total Bitcoin. There you have it. At first glance, you might think, wow, that's crazy. The future of Bitcoins is a complete and utter mess. However, $1 billion, because there's no way it wouldn't be in by tomorrow. Take your time. We need to dismantle this, since it could cause serious harm if we don't. I am a fan of this guy after seeing this post from TXMC. His intelligence is plainly astounding. His outlook is appealing to me. He defies convention. From what I can tell, he generally agrees with the blockchain supporter. I can't say that I agree with all of his views, but I do think that they share some common ground on that front. On the other hand, he doesn't limit himself to discussing crypto, though he does keep a close eye on that, too, but rather offers his thoughts on the big picture. Glassnode is an on-chain analytics company that he previously worked for. I also really like Glassnode. Since I understood his perspective, I thought it was fascinating that he acknowledged reputable crypto chart analysts. It's almost like credible cryptists, on the other side, when it came to his predictions. This is the kind of respectful conversation I'm referring about. Those that have faith in crypto say that 2018 was the beginning of a cycle. What you have there is essentially an extended cycle. It hasn't topped off at all. And he predicts that we will be witnessing new all-time highs, although not everyone shares his optimism. Nevertheless, TXMC came across posts from reputable crypto sources that I'm going to investigate, and TXMC composed the following. A different price result might be more probable in my opinion. In passing, you can see how asterisks could fit around that, not sure, but nobody knows for sure. There should be a strategy in place for each plausible cryptocurrency, and it's critical to rank the situations in order of importance. And I thought, oh, well, when I saw it. The opinions of trustworthy cryptocurrency experts. I must say, his explanation is really helpful. He covers some amazing cryptosystem material that I haven't seen covered by anyone else on this webinar. It should be noted that he was actually publishing a brief article from TSMC, where they stated that ETFs are purchasing 500 million shares daily, and that they are not optimistic about a new cycle. Like I said before, he placed it in quotations since it's similar to what other people are saying. Next, he claims that the markets, including Bitcoin, reached its peak in late 2021, when the Federal Reserve was still purchasing over $100 billion in QE, quantitative easing, funds per month, and interest rates remain zero. You can only go so far with narratives. It seems like you got your point across. You make a valid point. Reputable cryptocurrency therefore reposted that. This is what he put down on paper. Additionally, I believe this will be really enlightening and fascinating for all of you. Also, I believe this can save you from hurting your own financial situation if you really think about it. Thus, his words are presented here. As much as I believe we are now on a tear toward new all-time highs, I think you should give serious consideration to the tweet below. At some point in the not-too-distant future, we will have entered a new paradigm, and it will be difficult to have a big crash or correction. Plus, this time around, TradFi is investing heavily in the ETFs, so things are different. Our trusted financial experts tell us that, in the end, there is a big fall for every big parabolic climb, and the same goes for the other way around. There must be a corresponding and opposing reaction when the ecstasy peaks in order to experience unbridled greed and the accompanying vertical price growth. Considering that most people here believed a new high before the halving was genuinely feasible, this comes from someone who has been advocating for such a forceful rise prior to the ETF approval. So, I'll put the note on hold right now. Even if he isn't claiming that it is when Bitcoin will reach its all-time high, it is within that range. That is very conceivable, in his opinion. Although I am unsure of the precise date, I expect the Bitcoin having to take place in April, most likely around April 20th. It would be a breeze. So, according to you, new Bitcoin all the time within, like, the next 2 months? That would be insane. Now, if we do manage to witness that, that will be the most thrilling day of my life. It will instill a newfound confidence in me regarding the potential for XRP and other coins to reach unprecedented levels of success, especially XRP. Personally, I'm keen on that one. Simply put, I have an agenda. This is my most senior role, yes, this has been my home for the past 6 years. If Bitcoin hits that, I will be ecstatic. Because if it isn't an absolute necessity, it appears to be very near to being one, at least in my opinion. Trustworthy cryptocurrency, however, persists. And I am telling you now in the same way that while these ETFs, this equation's demand side is significantly impacted by them.
It won't stop a big crash or downturn on its own, and it isn't the be-all and end-all of this asset class either. Looking ahead. Hold off on buying if the price goes through the roof from here. It will be clear in a moment why. One of the main reasons I wanted to emphasize this is that you are getting fed a lot of people's BS narratives, so I want to be clear about that. Perhaps they think that some of these individuals actually do. An echo chamber is also a real phenomenon. I simply want to make it clear that just because they're reporting excellent figures doesn't mean that it will be enough to spark a surge. In addition to what he says here, credible crypto keeps playing a role. While the recent infusion of funds fueled by TradFi ETFs is noteworthy, I feel compelled to add. Although the cash may be more difficult to withdraw than previous capital infusions, it doesn't imply these corporations aren't still playing for a profit. And when TradFi sees a return on investment of 3 to 4 times in 6 to 12 months, something they have rarely seen or experienced before, you can bet that there will be a lot of profit-taking, which might cause a change in the supply and demand balance. That is it, just so you are prepared for the next 6 months or so when Bitcoin prices surpass $100,000. Unless you're completely new to this, you and I were on this POS note. Significant shifts in cryptocurrency are nothing new to either of us. Depending on the currency, 3 or 4 times throughout the afternoon would not be a huge deal, especially for less liquid coins with smaller market caps that are easier to trade. Yeah, we see that incredibly frequently. It happens so often that we get numb to it, doesn't it? When those in traditional finance learn about cryptocurrency and realize they're going to make a ton of money, they could be hesitant to invest. However, if they hear about the major cards, they'll be overjoyed and may even be willing to take a chance on profit. In my opinion, that is a valid statement. And the rest will be history. What, though, would that do to get everyone so enthralled by this story, particularly Bitcoin maxis? That is, any exchange-traded fund that invests in Bitcoin. When that turns around, not even ETF purchases can continue to rise in a straight line indefinitely. I mean exactly that. He continues by saying, with that being said, enjoy the ride that we are on now, in reference to trustworthy crypto. In the months to come, keep your feet firmly planted on the ground and your eyes fixed on the charts. I couldn't agree more, that is absolutely correct. That is crucial. Because once you believe this stuff, and think, oh my god, it's going to go higher, there's no turning back. What does that imply for you? Because if you know that these market movements occur simultaneously, it will hurt you in every way, not only with your bid cards. It could potentially mess things everywhere, you know. Do not believe the stories. Use your own judgment and exercise caution. That concludes my remarks. Even so, I'm thrilled, and I don't think we can't be. I mean, it's been really fantastic for me. The explosion. Increase in net worth? Yes, I am content. That's a lot of fun. The timing is excellent. Therefore, I urge you to exercise caution. However, XRP appears to be in a position where it can begin to rise. Indeed, it is. Just because it happened yesterday doesn't imply it will happen again this week. But now we've reached the tipping point where things will either happen or they won't. I'm going to keep my optimistic outlook and pray that it does. I have faith, rather cautious, but optimistic overall. And we'll simply have to wait and watch how everything plays out. No one has a clue. Anyone who is intellectually honest and insightful would tell you that. This includes the blockchain backer, reputable crypto, and TSMC, among many others. I like that they are honest about their biases and predictions about the future, even though no one can say for sure. That's why I find it hard to help but think they're both forthright and intelligent when I see this. Therefore, we will see the outcome. Together, we can discover. That is my point of view. How fortunate that I am not a chart guy. That's not my area of expertise. Nothing I say should ever influence you to purchase anything for yourself. And please like and subscribe as always. See you soon, bye.